Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button. I'm reading Ramona the Pest, and I'm reading Chapter 3. Chapter 3, Seat Work. There were two kinds of children who went to kindergarten. Those who lined up beside the door before school as they were supposed to, and those who ran around the playground and scrambled to get into the line when they saw Miss Benny approaching. Ramona ran around the playground. One morning, as Ramona was running around the playroom, she noticed Davy waiting for Henry Huggins to lead him across the intersection. She was interested to see that Davy was wearing a black cape pinned to his shoulders with two big pins. This is the picture. While Henry held up two cars and a cement truck, Ramona watched Davy crossing the street. The more Ramona saw of Davy, the better she liked him. She was such a nice shy boy with blue eyes and soft brown hair. Ramona always tried to choose Davy for the pattern in folk dancing, and when the class played Grey Duck, Ramona always tagged Davy unless he was already in the mush pot. When Davy arrived, Ramona marched up to him and asked, "Are you Batman?" "No," said Davy. "Are you Superman?" asked Ramona. "No," said Davy. Who else could Davy be in a black cape? Ramona stopped and thought, but was unable to think of anyone else who wore a cape. "Well, who are you?" she asked at last. "Mighty Mouse," cried Davy, delighted that he had baffled Ramona. "I'm going to kiss you, Mighty Mouse," shrieked Ramona. Davy began to run, and Ramona ran after him. Round and round the playground they ran with Daisy's cape flying out behind him under the traveling bars, and around the jungle gym she chased him. "Run, Davy, run!" screamed the rest of the class, jumping up and down until Miss Benny was seen approaching, and everyone scrambled to get into line. Every morning afterward, when Ramona reached the playground, she tried to catch Davy so she could kiss him. "Here comes Ramona!" the other boys and girls shouted when they saw Ramona walking down the street. "Run, Davy, run!" And Davy ran with Ramona after him. Round and round the playground they ran while the class cheered Davy on. "That kid ought to go out for track when he gets a little older," Ramona heard one of the workmen across the street say one day. Once Ramona came near enough to grab Davy's clothes, but he shrieked around, popping the bottoms off his shirt. For once Davy stopped running. "Now see what you did," he accused. "My mother is going to be mad at you." Ramona stopped in her tracks. "I didn't do anything," she said indignantly. I just hung on. You did the pulling." This is the there's another picture of them chasing each other. "Here comes Miss Benny," someone called out, and Ramona and Davy screwed to get in line by the door. After that, Davy stayed farther away from Ramona than ever, which made Ramona sad because Davy was such a nice boy, and she did so long to kiss him. However, Ramona was not so bad that she stopped chasing Davy. Round and round they went every morning until Miss Benny arrived. Miss Benny, by this time, had begun to teach her class something more than games and rules of kindergarten and the mysterious Dronzer song. Ramona thought of kindergarten as being divided into two parts. The first part was the running part, which included games, dancing, finger painting, and playing. The second part was called seat work. Seat work was serious. Everyone was expected to work quietly in his own seat without disturbing anyone else. Ramona found it difficult to sit still because she was always interested in what everyone else was doing. "Ramona, keep your eyes on your own work," Miss Benny said, and sometime Ramona remembered. Hey Mom, this word is not like printed all the way. I think it's like first seat, or like, I think there's like a.
Yeah, for the first seat work assignment.
For the first seat work assignment, each member of the class was told to draw a picture of his own house. Ramona, who had expected to learn to read and write in school like her sister Beezus, used her new crayons quietly to draw her house with two windows, a door, and a red chimney. With her green crayon, she scrubbed in some sharply. Anyone familiar with her neighborhood could tell the pictures was of her house, but somehow Ramona was not satisfied. She looked around to see what others were doing. Susan had drawn a picture of the house and was adding a girl with boing curls looking out the window. Howie, who had drawn his house with the carriage door open. I can't say if this is garbage or
garage.
Oh, garage.
Howie, who had drawn his house
with the garage door open and a car inside, was adding a motorcycle parked at the curb. Davy's house looked like a clubhouse built by some boys who had a few old boards and not enough nails. It leaned to one side in a tired sort of way. Ramona studied her own drawing, and decided she would have to do something to make it more interesting. After considering various colors of crayons, she selected the black and drew big black swirls coming from the windows. You aren't supposed to scribble on your picture, said Howie, who always was inclined to pay attention to other people's work. Ramona was indignant. I didn't scribble. The black is part of my picture. When Miss Benny asked the class to set their pictures on the chalk rail so that everyone might see them, the class noticed Ramona's picture at once because it was drawn with bold, heavy strokes, and because of the black swirls, Miss Benny, Ramona scribbled all over her house, said Susan, who by now had revealed herself as kind of a girl who always wanted to play house so she could be the mother and boss everybody. I did not, protested Ramona, beginning to see that her picture was going to be misunderstood by everyone. Maybe she had been wrong to make it interesting. Maybe Miss Benny did not want interesting pictures. You did too. Joey ran up to chalk rail and pointed to Ramona's black swirls. See? The class included Ramona waited for Miss Benny to say Ramona should not scribble on her picture, but Miss Benny merely smiled and said, Remember your seat, Joey. Ramona, suppose you tell us about your picture. I didn't scribble on it, said Ramona. Of course you didn't, Miss Benny said. Ramona loved her teacher even more. Bye, guys.